Could you just briefly take us to through what your company is doing and what you're into?
Our company, Iterate India Pvt Ltd, is into software development. We are developing various kinds of softwares. Sometime back we felt that there would be a need for computerization in higher education, that is universities and colleges. Firstly, I would like to tell you that we have this business since 1982. Initially, we started with small projects and gradually migrated to bigger projects. We started with 4 people, now we have more than 100 people working in our company. We are basically and totally into software development and implementation of those software that we develop. We don't trade into softwares, we don't implement third-party softwares. Entire work is our own creativities that we do. We felt that there is a need to computerize, automate universities the way the volumes were growing. So we embarked on this project. Initially we did some result preparations, we did some small softwares for good number of universities and known universities, state and central universities. Then we thought of developing an ERP solution where it covers all the areas, your accounting, your inventory, college affiliation, student admission, student registration, examination, fee accounting, your academics management of the students, because PhD is a long time course, so they need to keep all the track records, central evaluation. All this we developed into an ERP. We first studied the process of a university. Some universities were good enough to let us understand their processes, how a university functions. We gathered the domain knowledge of the university, and then only we started the development of the software which we started to market. Then we have a lower down version also for universities which do not have affiliations and academics, etc. So it's a initial version that the student management and accounting you can do from this. That is what it brought us into higher education. That is what we are providing in higher education.
Any example of where you've implemented it and how it has worked?
Yeah, we have implemented this in Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University in Kanpur. It's a fairly big university with more than 500,000 students and 6,000 or so campus students they have on campus. They have about 400,000 students for their PhDs, and they have about 500 or more colleges which are affiliated to the university. Initially they didn't have any information automated on what colleges are there. And then we have also done a system where it is directly linked to your student examination, student admission. So the number of students to be registered has to be earmarked in the college, which the college can intake, that is course wise. So all that is now directly linked. There can be no goof ups in that. Whatever is allotted, allocated numbers, they can only go by those numbers. The teacher database is there. Otherwise, you could find a case where the teacher may have enrolled at 2 different colleges. Now that case is not there. They are only enrolled in a single college and they identify it. The teacher who is authorized for a particular, who is a subject matter expert of a particular course, a particular subject, is allowed to evaluate those copies only. Otherwise, they don't want to get the copies also, because the copy distribution is also, the examination copy distribution is from the system now. So everything is well controlled now. So all these areas have really helped them upgrade their working, speeden up their working, and they are able to declare timely results. And entire result preparation is done through the system. Today, if a student has to check his details, they can easily do it.
Now, sir, you said that you've been reaching out to state and central universities as well. Now, these age-old institutions which exist, how acceptable to them is this change that you are trying to bring?
See, the idea of computerization now, maybe 10 years back things were different, but now everyone knows that they have to get into computerization. So willingly, unwillingly, happily or sadly, you have to accept it now. That you have to get into systems. Now, I do agree that implementing systems is not an easy process. It's very, very difficult. Because there are people who are on the verge of retirement or maybe above 50, they are already set into some processes of their own, their manual processes, or maybe on a standalone spreadsheet or Word, etc. They may be making some documents. To bring them onto systems is not easy, but then we really try very hard. But at the same time, when you talk to vice chancellors and you talk to registrars, that these are the systems that you carry and you can implement them, automate the university, they do show interest, they show some positive interest. But again, they also have that at the back of their mind that implementing systems at the ground level is not an easy task in the university. So, success of the system can only happen how effectively people have embraced it, how enthusiastically they have embraced it, and what is the top, that is from the vice chancellor level or from the registrar level, what is the message that yes, it has to be implemented, and what is the time frame for it. That discipline has to be created by them or has to be enforced by them if they want. Otherwise, yes, it becomes a difficult process to implement.
So, in such a scenario, I mean, where people are usually resistant to change, how do you keep the optimism going?
Optimism going is that when you develop a system, you must visualize who is the target user of it. And you must see that what could be the pitfalls in doing it. See, one is that you develop a system, you take it, no, you have to work on it. Another is you develop a system by understanding the psyche of the person who's going to use it, understanding his limitations that he's going to use it, understanding how he would be adaptable to it. If you take that factor into account, definitely your system will sail through. Maybe it will take slightly more time, I would say that. If you try to make very rigid system or you try to build too many the checks and controls which are not relevant, or you feel that no, he has to use this only, no, it may not work. And another thing is that when you design systems, you have to see the target audience, the profile of the people who are going to use it, and how easy is the navigation of the system, how easily he can navigate through that each screen, or how easily he can adopt to that particular report that you're going to give it. That's very, very essential. And I think that is one of the reasons that we were able to sail through the system in such an old university, and there were records of their inventory, the records of the students, I think from the inception of the universities in the early 60s, that they got it computerized and everything is now on the system with them.
What are the future plans for Iterate?
Future plans for Iterate, I would say that we would like to focus more on this because the government is also putting a stress, is putting a focus. We would like to put more focus on this and reach out to more universities, and not reach out to them that we have a product, we want to sell it. I mean, I personally feel that we would like to reach out to them to implement systems, help in upgradation of the university, where we get some sense of social responsibility, we some sense of satisfaction. I mean, social responsibility can not only be by way of providing donations or adopting certain things. I mean, if you do your job well and you are able to bring out results, and that contributes towards the efficiency and the productivity and increase in the faster results, I think that itself is also a big social responsibility that you're carrying towards. I mean, we would not be interested in just picking orders, taking up payment and leaving. I mean, then definitely we would not like to work for that university. We would be more interested where we can sail through the system, implement, and we can claim, yes, this is what we have done, this is how we brought it up, and this is how the university is benefited by it.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.